Everything you are today, your fears, your sudden skills, even the unexpected love that appeared out of nowhere, is not a coincidence. Every detail of your life is part of a story that stretches far beyond this lifetime. I'm not talking about fate or destiny. I'm talking about reincarnation, the ancient belief that your soul has lived multiple lives before this one and will continue to do so after death, shaping your journey through the afterlife. You might be skeptical, or maybe you already believe. Either way, even your doubt could be a trace of a past life memory struggling to surface. Reincarnation is an idea that's older than the earliest civilizations we learn about in history class. Rooted deeply in spiritual traditions worldwide. At its core, reincarnation suggests that life is a continuous flow of experiences, lessons, and transformations. Our journey doesn't begin at birth, nor does it end with death. Think about people who seem to possess profound wisdom from a young age, while others struggle to grasp the simplest lessons. Or children who demonstrate extraordinary talents without formal training. These puzzling realities have led many to wonder if there's more to life and the afterlife than meets the eye. But if reincarnation is real, why don't we remember our past lives? Many spiritual teachings explain this by the veil of forgetfulness. It's like a reset button that allows us to start fresh, in each incarnation, free from the emotional burdens, traumas, and unresolved pain of previous lifetimes. Imagine carrying centuries of grief and memories. Most souls would find it unbearable. Yet some clues manage to break through the veil. I've experienced moments like this myself. For example, once traveling to England, specifically London, I felt a profound familiarity that defied logic. The streets, the scent of the air, even the way people spoke felt like coming home. It was an unexplainable connection that suggested my soul had walked those paths long ago, in a different life. For those curious, is anyone here from London? If so, you might understand exactly what I mean. Like the opening lines of a gripping novel, the idea of reincarnation captivates us because it connects who we were with who we are now. It gives meaning to our quirks, preferences, and even those inexplicable traits that feel like echoes from another existence. So how can you tell if you've lived past lives? How do you recognize the signs your soul is trying to reveal? Let's explore 9 powerful signs that point to your soul's eternal journey through life, death, and the afterlife. Sign 1, intense and recurring déjà vu. We've all experienced it, walking into a new place, yet feeling an overwhelming sense of familiarity. The smells, sounds, even the way the light falls, everything feels eerily known. This is more than a mental glitch. It's déjà vu. Science has tried to explain it as a brain processing error, but many who experience deep déjà vu know it touches something far beyond the physical brain. It touches the soul. Spiritual traditions interpret déjà vu as a fleeting window into a past life, a moment when memories from previous incarnations briefly break through the veil. Why does your heart race on a street you've never seen? Why do you feel like you've already had a conversation that should be brand new? These moments are powerful reminders from your soul, whispers from your afterlife journey. Here's a true story. I met someone once who dismissed spirituality entirely. Then, while visiting an ancient village for the first time, they felt an overwhelming sense of homecoming. They instinctively knew the streets and stopped at a forgotten town square, shedding tears, not from sadness or joy, but a deep longing. Later, she described an old fountain that once stood there, long gone, but documented in historical archives. This was no coincidence. It was her soul remembering a life left behind centuries ago. That's the power of deep déjà vu, a glimpse into the soul's timeless travel through life and afterlife. Sign 2, instant soul connections. Some people enter our lives gradually. Others appear like they've been there forever. When you meet someone and instantly feel an unexplainable bond, like you've known them for lifetimes, that's a soul reunion. These immediate connections are often signs that you and that person share a past life link. Souls travel together through many incarnations, sometimes as friends, sometimes as lovers, sometimes as teachers or companions. When reunited, the recognition is immediate and profound. I've witnessed this firsthand, two strangers meeting for the first time yet, laughing like old friends, finishing each other's sentences and recalling shared experiences that neither could have known in this lifetime. This is not mere chemistry, it's the soul remembering its journey through multiple lives and the afterlife. The same happens with places. Some locations embrace you as if your soul has dwelled there before. This sensation isn't about beauty or charm, it's the echo of your soul's past visits. When these intense, instant connections happen, they reveal a deeper truth. Life isn't just about beginnings, it's about continuations and intersections of souls through time and across the afterlife. Sign 3. Innate wisdom and talents. Have you ever met someone with extraordinary abilities, knowledge or wisdom from an early age without much training? These gifts could be residual memories from past lives. Some souls carry talents across lifetimes, refined through countless experiences. A child who plays a complex musical instrument flawlessly, or a young person who intuitively understands complex subjects, may be expressing skills their soul honed long ago. This kind of innate wisdom is another hint at reincarnation, linking the present life with the soul's ongoing journey through death and rebirth in the afterlife. Have you ever felt like you were born knowing something you never learned? A skill, a language, or a wisdom far beyond your years. It's not coincidence, it's not luck, and it's not just talent. What if the answers come from a place far deeper, a place beyond this life? Welcome to the afterlife, where your soul's forgotten journeys leave silent clues. Natural abilities that seem to come from nowhere. Some people seem to arrive in this world with ready-made gifts. You've seen it, a child who sits at a piano and plays as if guided by invisible hands, or someone who picks up languages, leads effortlessly, or understands advanced ideas without formal learning. These are not random blessings. They are echoes from the afterlife memories of talents honed in past lives. Take my sister, Letitia. At just 8 years old, she began drawing with astonishing detail and sensitivity without ever taking a lesson. When we asked her how, she simply said, "I just feel how it should be." That's the key. These talents aren't new, they're remembered. Perhaps in another life, Letitia was an artist, spending years perfecting her craft. Today, the hands are different, but the soul remembers. And it's not limited to art. Some children give advice with the clarity of someone far beyond their years. That kind of wisdom doesn't come from books. It comes from lives already lived, from the afterlife flowing back into the present. Spontaneous memories or vivid dreams that feel real. Ever had a dream so vivid that you woke up certain it had actually happened? You find yourself in a place you've never visited, wearing clothes from another era, reacting to situations that make no sense in your current life. And yet, everything feels hauntingly familiar. These aren't just dreams, they are soul memories, fragments of the afterlife breaking through the veil. One follower once shared recurring dreams of living in an ancient village. Same place, same people, same emotions. She dismissed it as fantasy until she stumbled upon historical images that matched her visions perfectly. She had never studied that era. These dreams are past life memories trying to return to the conscious mind. They can arise not only in sleep, but during quiet moments, meditation, or even a random conversation. Suddenly a scene flashes in your mind, and you know it's more than imagination. The soul carries every chapter. Sometimes it whispers its truth back to you through your subconscious. Fears and phobias with no clear origin. Have you ever felt an intense fear that makes no logical sense, like a deep terror of water without ever having nearly drowned, or a fear of heights, small spaces, fire? With no traumatic trigger, these phobias often trace back to the afterlife, to experiences in other lives that left emotional scars. It's the soul's way of protecting itself from reliving old pain. Your body reacts instinctively. Your mind may not understand, but your soul remembers. These irrational fears aren't flaws. They are soul wounds calling for healing. By acknowledging their roots in past lives, you unlock the power to transform them. Fear, once understood, becomes a doorway to freedom, a powerful pull toward certain cultures or historical eras. Some people feel deeply connected to specific civilizations like ancient Egypt, feudal Japan, or medieval Europe. It's not just curiosity, it's longing, a feeling of homesickness for a place and time your current body never knew. This is one of the clearest signs of a past life experience. The soul remembers where it once walked. Even fictional stories like The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit can trigger that ancient connection. You see a fantasy world but feel like you've lived there. That's the soul responding to archetypes and symbols from the afterlife. It's not nostalgia for another time. It's the soul recognizing its own history, feeling like an old soul in a young body. Some people are born with a sense of deep knowing. They speak with maturity. They observe quietly while others chase trends. They carry a sadness that doesn't seem to belong to this life. These are the old souls travelers through many lives, shaped by centuries of love loss and learning. They don't crave the superficial. They seek truth, depth, and meaning. And often, without knowing why, people are drawn to them seeking comfort, guidance, or simply presence. That's because the soul speaks without words. Its history can be felt in every gesture, every pause, every glance. Being an old soul is not a burden. It's a gift from the afterlife, showing you've walked through lifetimes of wisdom, recurring patterns and life lessons that refuse to go away. Have you ever noticed that certain types of relationships or challenges keep showing up in your life? No matter how much you try to change, the same patterns return, just with different faces. These aren't coincidences. They are lessons the soul hasn't fully learned yet. Your current life may be giving you another chance to break the cycle, to grow beyond the past. Patterns repeat until the soul finally understands. This is the afterlife's way of guiding your evolution. Every time the lesson returns, it comes with a new opportunity for healing. You're not being punished. You're being invited to evolve. A sense of being out of place in the modern world. If you often feel like you don't quite fit in, like the pace of modern life is too loud, too shallow, too artificial, that could be your soul remembering a different rhythm, a different way of being. Old souls often feel like strangers in their own time. There's a yearning for simplicity, depth, authenticity, qualities often lost in the digital age. This disconnect isn't a flaw. It's a soul compass pointing you toward what truly matters. It means your essence was shaped in older, perhaps more sacred times, and you've carried that truth into this life for a reason. You feel drawn to the concept of rebirth or the afterlife. Some people are deeply moved by stories of reincarnation, near-death experiences, or the mysteries of what happens after we die. It resonates not as theory, but as something already known. If you're drawn to the afterlife not out of fear but out of recognition, that's a sign. Your soul remembers the journey. It remembers the veil, the crossing, and the return. That inner knowing is more than belief. It's the soul reminding you. This is not the first time, and it won't be the last. Have you ever felt like life keeps repeating itself, like you're stuck in the same emotional loops or reliving the same storylines? That's not random. When an experience hasn't been fully integrated by the soul, it comes back again and again. And sometimes these cycles didn't even begin in this lifetime. They originate from much further back, from other lifetimes, from the afterlife itself. These are unfinished stories, lingering emotions, promises once made and never kept. The soul, in its journey toward growth and balance, attracts new circumstances to resolve what was left open. It's as though life is offering you another chance, an invitation to finally close the chapters you couldn't before. When you look at these repeating patterns with honest eyes, you start to see that they aren't just coincidences, they're messages. Life is presenting you with something that must be faced with courage and transformed with awareness. These recurring cycles often revolve around deep emotional themes: abandonment, rejection, power struggles, dependency loss, internal conflict, even addiction. In fact, we've dedicated an entire video to the spiritual roots of addiction alone. While these challenges appear to be external through relationships, career setbacks, or health issues, they are actually mirrors reflecting inner movements of the soul. And here's where it gets powerful. Recognizing this changes everything. Because once you stop living on autopilot and start living with spiritual awareness, pain no longer feels meaningless. It gains context. Every repeated hardship becomes a doorway. What seems like life testing you again and again is actually your soul striving to evolve, a gentle but firm push from the afterlife, urging you to grow. These patterns are soul-level mirrors. They reveal what still needs to be healed, integrated, and released. And when the lesson is finally learned, truly embodied, at the level of spirit, the cycle ends. It no longer needs to repeat. The soul has absorbed what it came to understand. That's when liberation begins. That's when life stops feeling like a constant test and starts becoming a conscious journey. Sign 9. The unshakable feeling that there's something more. Even after a life full of experiences, achievements, and milestones, some people carry a quiet restlessness, a subtle longing like something essential is still missing, just out of reach. No matter how much they accomplish, this inner ache persists. It's not dissatisfaction, it's spiritual memory. This longing for something more is often the soul's echo from past lives. Souls who have journeyed through many incarnations carry with them the subtle awareness that existence doesn't end here. They remember the afterlife, even if only unconsciously. They carry whispers of who they were and who they still long to become. This is why nothing ever feels completely new or fully satisfying. There is a deeper hunger, not for material things, but for meaning, truth, and spiritual connection. People who feel this way seek depth in everything, in their relationships, in their choices, in the very purpose of their being. Often this search becomes a pull toward spirituality, philosophy, or inner transformation. It's not about escaping life, it's about understanding it. When this feeling is persistent, it's one of the most powerful signs the soul is ready to awaken, to reclaim old wisdom, and to evolve into a new level of consciousness. The search for something greater is not a flaw. It's not restlessness. It is ancient knowledge resurfacing, an intuitive knowing that life stretches far beyond what we can see, that the afterlife is real, and that this journey is only one page in a much longer book. And even if you can't fully explain it, you know. You're still in the middle of the path. Bonus sign: heightened energetic sensitivity. Some people carry a unique sensitivity to energy that goes far beyond the norm. They can walk into a room and feel the emotional residue left behind. They pick up on the energy of others, joy, sadness, tension, without a single word being said. They are deeply empathetic, easily moved, often overwhelmed in crowded spaces, and frequently they don't even realize that they're absorbing the emotional world around them. This is not a weakness. It is the signature of an old and experienced soul. A soul that has journeyed through many lifetimes, has learned to connect deeply with people, places, and emotions. Their sensitivity is a reflection of how open and receptive they've become over time. They may be the ones friends and strangers alike turn to for comfort, guidance, and healing. Their intuition is sharp. Their empathy is intense. And whether they realize it or not, they often carry an unspoken spiritual responsibility. But this sensitivity is both a gift and a challenge. If not understood, it can lead to emotional exhaustion, confusion, and even physical fatigue. These individuals need to protect their energy not out of selfishness, but out of spiritual preservation. If you feel too much too often, you must learn to set healthy boundaries. You must learn when you are giving too much and when it's time to retreat, to rest, to reconnect with your own essence. Healing tools like meditation, breathwork, spiritual baths, Time in nature or energy cleansing rituals are not luxuries for you. They're essential. They help you clear what isn't yours and ground yourself in your own vibration. Because your sensitivity isn't here to imprison you. It's a bridge, a sacred path that connects you to others and to higher dimensions of awareness. But you must walk that bridge with intention. Otherwise, it becomes a burden instead of a blessing. So if you're someone who feels the world too deeply, take care of yourself. Give yourself permission to rest. Because those who carry the emotional weight of others also need a refuge to remain whole. This isn't about the past, it's about awakening. Looking at all these signs isn't about getting stuck in what was. It's about illuminating what is. Life is not a series of disconnected events. It's a continuum, a sacred unfolding journey shaped by past lives, current lessons, and future callings. To believe in reincarnation, to believe in the afterlife, is not fantasy. It is deep awareness. It's the kind of knowing that shifts your entire perspective. When you begin to recognize this, everything changes. Your repetitive struggles stop being meaningless. Your pain gains significance. Your encounters take on new light as soul reunions, not random meetings. The soul wants to evolve. It wants to remember. It wants to come home. So the question now is, which of these signs have appeared in your life? What story is your soul still trying to tell? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your voice might be exactly what another soul needs to hear to begin remembering. Let the afterlife speak through your story. Let your journey become a beacon for others still seeking their way back to themselves.